Hi everyone. Our today's topic is related to the Chinese investment in Africa. And this kind of Chinese investment actually started after the 1990s, and that actually stated as a new form of colonialism that is also called the neo-colonialism. The China, which is a very colossal country that always have the intentions to become the superpower like the USA. Here we have to know that who are the superpowers of the world. Before the 1945, the British and the French actually were the superpowers because they have the more and the more colonies around the world. So that is why they used to call the superpower. After the 1945 or during the 1945 or during the World War II, the USA actually supported these powers and they bombed the two Japanese cities, Hiroshima and the Nagasaki. And this is how they revealed themselves that they are unilateral superpowers. But their being a superpower was not a permanent phenomenon. After the USSR in the 1950s tested the nuclear bomb during the time of Stalin, and to desire themselves, to reveal themselves as a superpower in that league, the China has also tested the nuclear bomb 16th October 1964 during the time of Mao Zedong. But China, to show after showing to the world that they are also the power, they are also the power in the league which actually have the nuclear bombs. But after that, the nuclear bombs actually they used the nuclear bomb as a deterrent. But to show that themselves that they are the superpowers, they came into a policy that they started giving the loans or started giving the loans to the poor countries, and eventually those poor countries came under the vicious debt trap of Chinese, and when they failed to give them the loan back, then the Chinese actually captured some of the strategic port and roads and the airports of those countries. The very good examples is Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka take the huge amounts of loan from Chinese. They fail to pay. Then the Sri Lanka have to give the Hambantota port to the Chinese. And these Hambantota port, the Chinese are using to counter the Indian forces in Indian Ocean region. And they are trying the same. They are trying to do the same to the countries which is in the Africa. The continent which needs the huge amounts of investment from outside world. Actually, the Africa had huge amount of investment before the 1991 from the American and the European contractors. Because the USSR were the party, USSR was the party at different kind of countries at that time. So to give the competitions to the USSR, Americans and the Europeans came in and hugely invested in Africa. But after 1991, when the USSR break apart, then it became the white spots for the Americans and the Europeans. Then the Chinese came in. Then the Chinese, because the African countries needs money from anyone. So Chinese came in and they have invested hugely in Africa. So now we will going to discuss about that how the Chinese investment in the percentage in African countries. Percentage in African countries. Chinese investment in percentage in African countries. The China have invested 17% of their total investment in Nigeria, 8% of their total investment in Angola, 8% in Ethiopia, 6% in Kenya, 5% in Zambia, 5% in South Africa, 5% in Democratic Republic of Congo, 4% in Congo, 4% in Cameroon, 4% in Mozambique, and 35% others. But if we come into a sectoral investment, the how the Chinese are investing in sectors in Africa, that Chinese are actually interested in oil, primarily interested in the oil investment, oil and the mining. But they are investing in infrastructure to the food processing, and they are mainly investing in utilities, telecommunication, port construction, and the transportation. They are actually, from these investment structure, we actually came to know that they actually trying to control those countries, those who have huge amounts of mineral and those who are influencing the African politics. So the Chinese are investing hugely in those countries. The sectoral distributions of the Chinese investment in Africa, now we will going to talk about. 33% of their total investment in transport, 33% in energy, 11% in metal, 11% in real estate, 2% in utilities, 2% in technology, 2% in finance, 2% in agriculture, and in other sector they have invested 4%. In the oil-rich countries like the Nigeria and the Angola, they have invested heavily. They have invested heavily. At the 2018 China-Africa Cooperation Forum, China announced that it would be providing 60 billion in the financial support to the African countries. And how they will going to give that support? 20 billion they will going to give in credit lines, 15 billion in grants, interest-free loans, and the concessional loans, and the 10 billion in investment financing. This is how they will going to invest. How the China became so greedy about Africa? Why? There is a reason behind it, because huge amounts of minerals and the oils are found in Africa. The world's 90% of entire platinum found in Africa. 50% gold is found in Africa. 35% world's uranium found in Africa. 2/3 manganese, 66%. 66% of world's total manganese found in Africa. And world's 75% coltan also found in Africa. What is coltan? What is the use of that minerals? This is used in electronic devices and the cell phones. And the China is very much known for its cell phone making companies. So they took those minerals and give those minerals to their own companies, and they also sell those minerals to the others. And now to protect those investments, China is sending the military to the Africa. China is also increasing the military presence in Africa, and they are also influencing the politics of the African countries. Is very much is Ethiopia. Examples that China is sending the armies in Africa. One example is that there is a country called the Djibouti. China took the port in the Djibouti and converted it into a military port to protect their investment from the Somalian pirates. The Somalian pirates actually disturbing those regions, and the China's oil investment is huge. So that is why the China is sending the army over there. At the first, we said that the China is investing heavily in Angola and the Nigeria. We already said China is investing 25% of their total investment because of the huge oil presence in the Angola and the Nigeria. The Chinese are taking 16% of the total oil produced by the Angola. So to protect their oil investment in Nigeria, the Chinese are making the Lagos to the Kano Railway and the coastal railway from the Lagos to the Calabar, and their investment is like the British investment. The British used to do the things in this way, because to protect their investment, to export and import, to ferry their goods to the ports, to ferry the raw material to the ports. So that is why the British invested heavily in the railway system. The China is also developing the railway systems in Kenya, Ethiopia and the Zambia. In Ethiopia, the Chinese Export-Import Bank provided 85% of funding of 475 million Addis Ababa Light Railway. The China have invested in Ethiopia. China have also invested in Addis Ababa Djibouti Railway. Djibouti, because the Djibouti China has the military base, and Ethiopia, the China has the political influence. The China is connecting those railway to the other countries to export and they import their goods. The China is also investing. China is also investing in stadiums, in hospitals. China built the Tirunish Dibaba Beijing Hospital of bed capacity 100 in Addis Ababa. The China is also building in hydroelectric projects in Ethiopia. Some of them are Tekeji hydroelectric project, Gibe Fort over the Ume River, and Halele Dam. These are the projects that China has already completed. The total cost of those projects were around $3 billion. The Chinese Kenyan railway investment, the China has built the Mombasa to the Nairobi railway that cost the Kenya $3 billion. But Kenya has failed to pay those amounts to the Chinese banks for 21 months in a row, because the Chinese has given them hugely, but interest they have increased. They actually increase the interest, and somehow they delay the projects, and that delaying actually increases the cost of the projects, and this is how they put those countries in jeopardy. In Zambia, Chinese railway invested 825 million to upgrade their present line. The China is interested in Zambia. Why the China is investing? Because the Zambia has huge amounts of copper. That is why the China is investing over there. And why the China is playing with the African countries? Because to corner the Taiwan, because to check the Indian investment in Africa. That is why the China is doing the same. So this is the topic, the completions of the topic. Now we will going to discuss the two questions, which is who is the Tirunish Dibaba, in which sport event she won the medal, and in which event she participated. Tirunish Dibaba is an athlete born in 1st June 1985. She is a long distance track event runner and also the international road runner. In 2005, IAAF World Champion in Helsinki, Finland. In 2004, Athens bronze medalist in Olympic 5000 meter events. In 2005 also, the double gold medalist at the IAAF World Champions. In 2008, Beijing Olympic, she won the double gold in 5000 meter and also in 10,000 meter. In 2012, London Olympic 10,000 meter, she won the gold medal. In 2013 World Championship, she won the 10,000 meter. In 2016 Rio Olympic, she won the bronze medal. So she is a quite popular athlete in Ethiopia. The second question is who is Ethiopian Prime Minister and why he got the Nobel Prize and why he is in the news these days. These questions I will going to discuss in our next topic, that why the Ethiopian Prime Minister is in the news and why he got the Nobel Prize. So thank you very much. If you like, then please subscribe our channel. Thank you very much.